We each have our own mountain to traverse. Each life has its own challenges. We have all these karmas that build up, all these tendencies that we carry with us from former lives, and we like to blame it on that a lot of the time when things go wrong or we have a certain problem. And some of the time it is the case that we carry these karmas, but really it's habits that we build up in a single lifetime that overlap, and we consistently do the same things again and again, and it produces various results that we see the fruits of later on in our lives. When we are silent in meditation, when we quiet the mind, we start to feel the intelligence of our soul. Any kind of being that you pray to, any kind of prayer that you say, when it's answered, it's that you touch something within yourself. The divine is deep within. It's not somewhere else. It's right here. Every connection to every God, every spirit is made within ourselves, not with the external world. And that divine intelligence is a part of us. I am a part of Kali, basically, my divine mother. I am not Kali in her entirety. No human being is a god or a goddess in their entirety. I'm but a tiny, tiny piece of Kali. And however you understand God, you can be a tiny piece of that god or goddess. Or perhaps you think you're a bigger piece. As long as you don't think that you're a bigger piece than other people, just because of your loyalty, just because of your dedication, just because of your uniqueness. Don't think that you're a bigger piece than other people, even if you think you're a big piece. The intelligence that we touch within ourselves in meditation, it doesn't feel through language. We can't feel it through language. It doesn't act through language. It doesn't act through the symbols that we compose in our heads to try to understand the world around us. It's its own kind of special intuition. When a mother cat, or just a cat in general, there was a story years back of this cat that sat on this baby that had somehow been left out in the cold in Russia, and had kept it warm while the baby was crying until somebody eventually found the baby. There's been other instances of cats and dogs doing things similar, or even wild animals doing something similar. Like a story of this, I saw that this was not too long ago, a few months back, of this bear that had found this baby, and there was even a video of it. And this bear was carrying this baby by the diaper. And eventually the bear left it out. It got the people's attention, and the people came, and the bear had left the baby and then walked off. But the bear had found the baby for the people. Some kind of intuition deep within the bear said, hey, you should rescue this little being. It's incredibly hard for animals to progress, because they almost entirely, when they do something good or bad, they entirely rely upon instinct. But sometimes a special kind of instinct comes out in a bear, in a cat, a deeper kind of instinct, the soul informing the being that it is inhabiting that it needs to do this or that. In a way, we act just as instinctually. Maybe not just as instinctually, but very instinctually. And we start forming these patterns, these habits. And we act in certain ways based on very small stimuli, very, minute and not significant stimuli, just layers of stimuli we respond to in our external world, starting from a very young age. And then we just keep on reacting in similar ways, or when we break a pattern, there's that bit of intelligence that informs us, the soul informing the person that we are, hey, it's time to act a little differently. It's time to be a little bit different. And that soul intelligence bumps up against a situation that it needs to tell us about, and then we change. Or it bumps up against a situation that we haven't encountered before and informs us, hey, this is how we act. We feel the soul's intelligence in meditation when we quiet the mind. And that's when we can really get into contact with our soul, beyond just the animal instincts, beyond the constant reactions to stimuli and the layered habits, beyond all of that. We start to be able to listen in a way that we listen from the heart. We listen from that place in our chest that is transdimensional, beyond time and space, and connects to the different dimensions, but not through the brain, through a different energy center in the heart. We all have our own challenges in this world. We all find ourselves in various situations. We all have our own mountains to climb and have our various difficulties to overcome. Find a way to listen to your soul, what your soul is telling you. Because no other human intelligence that is informing you verbally is going to be able to interpret your soul like you can. Learn to listen to it, learn to follow it, and learn to recognize when it's giving you those bits of insight to guide you this way or that way, so that you're not just drawn about by your brain's reaction to stimuli and habits and patterns and past karmas. So you're not just drawn about by all these things that we don't think that we affect us, that we think that our free will is greater than, when the freeness of our will is questionable, to say the least. But the soul that you have is on a very particular journey. It's different from everyone else. It's not better, it's not worse, it's different. You have to learn how to listen to yourself, who you are deep down, past the name, past the form, past this person that you've become, with all these various attachments and cravings and likes and dislikes and hatreds and fears. All of these things are various layers, reactions to stimuli, karmas, all these different layers that make who we think we are. Find a way to listen past all of it, because your soul wants to tell you what to do. You just have to learn how to listen to it. And it's not easy. Spiritual paths help, meditation helps, spiritual rituals help, magic can help, sigils, spells, it can all help. But try to see what the experiences that you've gone through in your life, what your soul is trying to teach you behind all of them. Perhaps you did listen to your intuition in the past and you were right, and that did something remarkable in your life. You learned something remarkable, you had an interaction that was remarkable. You decided to do something that changed your life for the better. It's probably your soul telling you something. And if you find situations that you're in now where you want things to change for the better, or you feel like you're just not getting it, or you're stuck. Most people feel stuck in some way. Think back to those times when your intuition led you down the right course. What was the nature of what your soul was trying to tell you? And does what you did in the past, in these good situations, could that same intelligence or rationale or decision-making inform you in current situations? Is there a nature to your soul? What is that nature? How does it feel? And how can you better listen to your soul? Sometimes we're informed by our ego when we think we're informed by our soul. And we think we're doing something better for us when we're just blowing ourselves up or trying to make ourselves feel more important or trying to make us feel more substantial than we are. It's not about feeling bigger. It's about using your uniqueness, And in these situations that I'm referring to where things went right for you in the past, how are you using your uniqueness? And what is unique about you? Follow these lines of thought and reasoning, and you might find solutions to problems that you have now that you perhaps didn't quite see before. But most of all, listen to what your heart and your soul is telling you deep down, because they are very much linked. And don't try to confuse yourself too much. Try not to confuse yourself too much with words, and sometimes even when we think we're being logical. Don't confuse yourself by thinking in circles. Listen to your heart. Try to touch your soul. That's been my rant for today. Feel free to like this video, it really helps out the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. I read all comments. I try to respond to all comments. Greatly appreciate it. Feel free to support me on Patreon if you would like to do so at patreon.com/darkrealist, capital D, capital R. And if you support me on there, you like my work, I'd greatly appreciate it. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. Listen to yourself. Listen to your soul. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day. These are just some side notes, but I like to place that beam of light right there on Sri Ramakrishna's chest, indicating the heart. I also noticed many times that Shiva can only look you in the eye if you are sitting before the idol of Shakti Shiva. And the goddess, her pupils are not defined. She is power, she is light, she is the halo. She is the power of God. But the power of God is blind, without Purusha, without soul. And soul looks, while Shakti is and creates. Jai Ma.